I mean, I can assure you nobody has trained like I did this summer. And this is my best summer so far. Like I can tell the progress is just incredible.
As we all know, Victor Wembanyama's season ended early last year due to a potentially career-ending blood clot in his shoulder. Now, despite this setback, he ended up having the most storied offseason character arc of anyone in the entire association, including Ozempic Zion and even Luka Doncic's Men's Health magazine debut. Wemby has not only gained a substantial amount of muscle and strength with his own offseason transformation, he's also transformed as a player and as a person. Victor took this summer as an opportunity to grow on the court, learning from NBA legends such as the big ticket Kevin Garnett and Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon.
That's it. Perfect. So now, the ball control shows that you.
But what really took the media by storm was footage of 7'5" Victor Wembanyama in Dangfang, China, at the Shaolin Temple, training with the Shaolin monks. When asked about his experience, he stated how important it is for him to train his body in movements he's not used to in order to maintain his legendary mobility and flexibility. He also stated that his experience, paired with the health scare that he had last season, it has really motivated him and given him a new perspective in life and on the court. Now, the question is, will all of this perspective and training translate to on-court success, or will this be another flash in the pan, as so many other off-season transformations are?
And the Spurs are off to their greatest start ever. For the first time in franchise history, they start an NBA season 5-0.
He's over 7 feet tall. He looks like he's 6'2".
Wemby the catch and the finish.
So yes, Powell thrust into action.
Wembanyama! Oh my! The cosmic grace.
Number 2 overall pick gets it into Wembanyama. Guarded by Washington.
Wembanyama the fake.
Playing against your dad in the driveway when you're 8 years old. What do?
Wemby 3. You bet! Plus the foul.
Over the first 5 games of the season, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs have been unstoppable, going 5-0 for the first time in franchise history. And when you put that into the context of an organization like the Spurs, even Victor Wembanyama himself was surprised.
Spurs never went 5-0?
Spurs never went 5-0.
No.
Wow, right.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised.
Vic came into this season looking to make a statement, and in his first game did just that, spoiling Cooper Flagg's NBA debut and dominating one of the deepest defensive front courts in the entire league. His statement game involved scoring 40 points on an absolutely ludicrous 86.7 true shooting, grabbing 15 boards, recording 1 steal and 3 blocks, while making the Dallas Mavericks look terrified to take a shot at the rim, often settling for outside shots. And when you're a poor jump shooting team like the Dallas Mavericks, that really is just a recipe for a blowout. this dominance didn't end there, because in his next game, he nearly recorded a triple-double. And I know what you're thinking, like, he would do this in a very traditional sense, but no, of course, he decided to do it the hard way, and he was just shy, only recording like 9 blocks. I mean, it's like, come on, Vic, we're used to you doing this. Why couldn't you just get the 10 to get the triple-double, man? Now, that's right. The greatest rim protector in the NBA is back to getting his triple-doubles the hard way. Now, this dominance hasn't solely come as a product of Victor Wembanyama's improved all-around game. This improvement offensively has primarily been an adjusted shot diet. He's emphasizing fighting through contact to generate nearly like 3 more rim attempts per game. And this is rather than settling for lower percentage jump shots such as the mid-ranges that, like in his rookie season, he was a solid mid-range shooter, or at least it looked solid. But he often settled for that shot because he couldn't power his way through stronger defenders. Now, the biggest thing about these rim attempts that he's getting is that it's also allowing him to generate almost double the amount of free throws that he was generating in previous seasons. He went from a timid 4.1 attempts to a boisterous 9.6 attempts at the line. This change has allowed Victor to put more pressure on the defense than ever before. And like, if this continues, we're going to see a player with similar interior gravity to that of a prime Shaquille O'Neal. Now, lucky for us, Victor Wembanyama hasn't abandoned the modern guard skills that have brought him so much success and become that paint-sitting center that so many NBA media members just want him to become for whatever reason. Because we don't have enough paint-sitting centers that can just like catch lobs, and I'm so annoyed by people saying this, like, oh, the guy's 7'5", he shouldn't be taking threes, he shouldn't be taking jumpers. All of those things are a part of Victor Wembanyama's game, and all of those things make his interior game all the more effective. But lucky for his career, he's adapting those guard skills that have made him so effective into leveraging his elite length and athleticism, turning him into one of the greatest drivers and play finishers that we've ever seen. Now, the benefit of Wemby's rim pressure is that often when his teammates make timely cuts and relocate along the perimeter, Vic can find them, whether he gets cut off or whether he just sees them and sees that they have a better opportunity to a higher percentage shot. He's often finding them in situations where they're just sneaking in, and his teammates are just going unnoticed because people are so overwhelmed by his rim presence and the fact that often the best percentage shot is a Vic shot, especially at the rim where he's shooting like 80+% on these attempts within 3 feet. Now, with Victor Wembanyama making these necessary changes to his offensive game, we could be seeing someone who came into the league. He came into the league as the best defender in the league. And honestly, if he wasn't a rookie, like, he should have won that Defensive Player of the Year. I get it, like, oh, go ahead, give Rudy his props. It's going to be the last one he gets. I loved that confidence from Wemby because it's just so true. It's so true of what the next 15 years of Defensive Player of the Year conversations are going to be. Now, with someone coming into the league that dominant defensively, we may also be seeing him develop into a generational scorer, flirting with 30+ points for years to come. Currently, Wemby is averaging 30 as I'm making this video. He seems to be having a little bit of a rough game against the Suns right now, but currently he's averaging 30+ points, and that's a mark that I think he could continue throughout the rest of his career, especially as those around him continue to develop as playmakers and primarily shooters, because with him being such an impressive interior presence, he's going to need more spacing around him, and right now he just doesn't have that. He has really good playmaking. He can roll out lineups in which they have good spacing and stuff like that. But we're gonna see him potentially maintain that more efficient than he is somehow, because he's already shooting 60% from the field, but with better spacing, he might be 65, maybe 70%. Who knows? Especially as the playmakers around him develop. Now, with all of this hype being realized as soon as his third season, we're already seeing Vic sitting comfortably in top 5 conversations. Some even saying he's already the best in the world, only at 21 years of age. Naturally, when an NBA player showcases this level of two-way dominance in a completely new and unique way, with only 1.5 seasons under his belt, it's very understandable that we start trying to map his path to becoming the GOAT, or the greatest of all time. And barring health, we could be seeing just that trajectory from Victor. He's already proven he has the tools to win all of the defensive awards available for the next 15 years. He will be perennial first team all defense. And honestly, I can't see somebody who's in the league right now that could take away Defensive Player of the Year, especially with all of the defensive talent that the Spurs have added around Wemby. I just don't see their defense not being good enough to give it to him on any given year. And I feel like with Defensive Player of the Year, there's less of voter fatigue than an award like MVP. But not only is he able to do all of that stuff defensively that's so impressive, he's able to fill just about every stat there is. And he does it in a way that is truly impactful, unlike many of his peers. Like Luka Doncic is one of those players who stuffs every stat sheet, but his on-off has never been that impressive because his teams have been able to replicate it with a secondary creator, a secondary ball handler that when Luka goes down, oh, hey, Kyrie picks up the slack, and he almost does it just as well. They're not the same level of player, they're not the same quality of player, but in spurts, you can fill what Luka Doncic does. They don't have anybody on this team, and no one in the league has anyone who could fill the minutes and the impact that Victor Wembanyama does, because he is the best defender in the league on one end of the court and one of the greatest offensive players and slashers in the entire league that we've ever seen on the other side of the court. Now, obviously, being in the GOAT debate requires more than just individual greatness. So, do the Spurs have what it takes to allow Vic to rise to his unheralded potential? Let's take a look. The Spurs are obviously in an organization that knows what it takes to win, especially with all-time great big men, as they did with both David Robinson and the big fundamental himself, Tim Duncan. But just because they've done it in the past doesn't mean they can do it again. So, let's take a look at the foundation the Spurs are laying to aid Wemby in his greatest of all time career arc. Many of the moves came before the draft and the drafting and arrival of the Frenchman. In the years before the alien arrived, the Spurs were a middling team after losing their homegrown talent in Kawhi Leonard, always remaining competitive, but never contending. It seemed as though they couldn't bite the bullet and rebuild. Or so we thought. And this time they slowly acquired different prospects that seemed fine in the draft, but when paired with the Spurs' legendary development, turned into valuable pieces, such as Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson sometimes. He used to have a strap, he could shoot that thing, but not so much anymore. He's been sadly disappointing. But he was still a development story for the Spurs. And even the controversial Jeremy Sohan. In the year of Sohan, I remember thinking that the Spurs have so many pieces, but what would really tie it all together would be a great center. This thought was simultaneous with the greatest center prospect we have ever seen, in my opinion, we have ever seen coming into the draft. In the first year, the Spurs were truly tanking. Now, this isn't the first time that the Spurs have had a moment like this fall into their lap. Way back in the day, they were a 60-win team. A 60-win team. David Robinson was their center, leading them to that. The following season, David Robinson gets injured, and they go from a 60-win team to a terrible team. The 1 year that they're terrible, the number one prospect is Timothy Duncan, Timmy D. And what do the Spurs end up with but the number one pick? So they go from a 60-win team to a bad team for 1 year, get the number one pick, get Tim Duncan, and now they're back to winning in the playoffs, winning championships for years to come. And it gives them this perfect transition opportunity between the David Robinson era and then the Timmy D era. And now we're getting this transition where they were bad for a chunk of time, and now we get freaking Victor Wembanyama the year we decide to just stop trying to be a borderline playoff team. Boom. We got Victor Wembanyama. So, the Spurs won the draft, got Wemby, and each year have looked to find more talent to surround him with, while maintaining the talent they found before. So far, the search for talent has been one of the most successful by any NBA team in the league, even rivaling the champion OKC Thunder. This success has materialized in drafting rookie Stephon Castle, who is a dog, elite defender, elite playmaker. We'll see if the shooting ever comes around. I think he could end up being like a solid catch and shoot three-point shooter, but I just don't know about the pull-up game because he doesn't have the greatest touch in the world. And then after that, there was a mid-season trade acquiring De'Aaron Fox, who adds more playmaking and reliable point guard play, which is going to be a theme with a lot of these moves that they make. They try to get good playmakers and develop good playmakers, and they're also trying to get people that can put pressure on the rim and create scoring gravity away from Wemby. De'Aaron Fox does just that. Now, he also got a short stint with Chris Paul, which was phenomenal. Chris Paul was like really instrumental in his development, and honestly, with how cerebral Wembanyama is and how cerebral Chris Paul is, it seemed like they really clicked on a special level. I'm very happy with where Chris Paul is. I love that he went to the Clippers because it feels like such a poetic ending. And hopefully he gets one last year to like compete, not compete for a championship. I don't think they're that good. They could, especially in a playoff setting where they can shorten their rotations and everything. But it's just a fun poetic ending to his storied career. But with that said, they had so many moments, especially like during the All-Star Skills game. We got to see Wemby and Chris Paul try to game the system, and although like they got disqualified because it was kind of a bad faith like disqualification, they technically like found a loophole, which was so interesting to see. Like they're willing to do anything to win. And CP3, that is something that I think he really like got into Wemby's mind. Who cares how you win? You need to win. Another big addition to the team, most recently they drafted point guard Dylan Harper at the number 2 pick, and he is fitting in very nicely with the Spurs. He is a very nice cutter, very nice off-ball player, but he also has a super smooth pick and roll game, solid at off the dribble mid-range, and I think he will develop an off the dribble 3. I think it's going to be a rough percentage the first couple of years of his career, but I do think he'll develop it, and he'll get a lot more like free looks to where the percentage might look better than what it would be otherwise if he was just developing on a team by himself. But he looks good. He looks like he'll also be a positive defender. And then another player that I really love that they drafted was Carter Bryant. He's definitely a developmental player. He's an elite all-around defender who has a great motor and great instincts on the defensive end. It's just offensively, a lot of people question his shooting ability. There's some moments where I've seen him have a very fluid form, and if they can just get that consistency, continue that consistency and to develop that, especially with the Spurs, they have some of the greatest shooting development stories in the entire league. I think that he could be one of those guys that ends up being a phenomenal piece for the Spurs, probably like 3 to 4 years down the line, but it really just depends on how much he wants it, because we know that players can adjust their jump shots to be very solid catch and shoot players, and that's all he needs to be, solid catch and shoot, and then he has all the athleticism in the world to drive to the basket and make smart cuts. Now, with all this said, the Spurs have built a team today that really and I forgot to mention, and I thought about it because I thought of veteran leadership. Harrison Barnes, man, he's such a cool, calm, collected veteran. Really good player. Solid 3-and-D, not super great defender, but good enough on the defensive end to where you're not going to hunt him, and then a solid three-point shooter, and that's just the guy they need. And he's very level-headed, which I enjoy. Definitely a good mind to have, a good mind and presence to have around a lot of the young guys. Okay, so with all this said, the Spurs have built a team today that has a great mix of veteran leadership and proven players, as well as high upside draft picks that are already looking like stars in the making. Currently, it seems like they've done everything right to allow Vic to go as high as he can reach, which we all know is quite high. The man's 7'5" with an 8-foot plus wingspan. So the question is, will Wemby be the GOAT? Will he fulfill the hype that seems to keep growing, even in year 3? Will you like and subscribe? Only time will tell. With that said, let me know your favorite Wemby moments so far this season in the comments below. This has been Couch Potato Hoops. Peace.